Y'all welcome to the Foolio trial closing arguments. Day 10. At the end, y'all gonna see DAVEON Murphy got threw out of court. I don't know why, but he got threw out of court holding for contempt. Thank y'all. Can y'all please hit the like and subscribe? And thank y'all. Let's get to it.
See this message? Get the B&B for me, gang.
Get the B&B. This video will be the state's closing arguments for the 4 defendants on the screen. Next video will be the defendant's closing arguments. Hit subscribe if you're new. Let's go, boys.
All right. And do all of you understand? I'm assuming no one's made you any promises regarding the outcome of this trial. Is that correct, Mr. Rashad Murphy?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. DAVEON Murphy? Mr. Sean Gathright? And Mr. Isaiah Chance?
The cameraman missed all 4 of them speaking. So obviously that she's just going through making sure that they're not going to testify. No one's coerced them or threatened them or promised anything.
No one is a fortune teller. No one can ever predict what any jury is going to do.
So he just asked for a motion for mistrial and to sever him from the rest of the defendants because of the statements from one of the detectives on DAVEON being in prison previously, which I was also confused about why that got brought up, because I swear in other cases they don't let nothing like that get brought up. All right, state closing arguments. Here we go.
There is a real gang war going on in Jacksonville. ATK and 1200 are at war with 6 Block. It is blatant. They shoot each other and then they post about it on social media. When one of the opposition dies, you see photographs of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, the GOAT, being posted in the early morning hours. You see laughing emojis. They produce and post drill rap videos, making fun of people who have been shot and murdered. There is nothing fun about the gang war in Jacksonville. And on June 23rd of 2024, this violence spilled into Tampa when these 4 men decided and planned and came to Tampa for one night, for one purpose, and that was to hunt and track and kill Charles Jones. That is the only reason they came to Tampa. That was a planned, premeditated, cold, calculated, organized mission that they did here in Tampa on the only one night that they were here. They wanted to take out their rival. They wanted to kill Charles Jones. He is Mr. 6, Little 6, 6. He is 6 Block. He is the most prominent member of 6 Block. And the only reason that they were here in Tampa, Florida was to kill him. All of their efforts were to kill him. This was a conspiracy that started long before June 23rd of 2024. This started in Jacksonville long before they came here.
Tired of having to stream in 720p in StreamYard or having to pay more to get 1080p quality? We got you. Start using EVMux, which is a web-based live streaming tool that allows you to be able to stream and record in 1080p full HD completely for free. Go to evmux.com and create your free account.
And the evidence shows that. There is never going to be an eyewitness in here that is going to be able to identify those 3 gunmen because they were prepared for this mission. They were heavily armed and they were masked. And those eyewitnesses that talked to law enforcement couldn't give one detail about those shooters because they were ambushed and they were afraid and they were fearful of their lives. So there are no eyewitnesses in this case that can identify those armed gunmen because they did their job very well. They planned this to the most tiniest detail. You don't have an eyewitness, but what you have is much better than any eyewitness that can ever testify in any case. You have what we call a silent witness, the unflinching eye of a camera lens. The video.
Ooh, these guys on camera everywhere.
The video evidence in this case tells you and shows you everything that happened to Charles Jones and his friends on June 23rd of 2024. All of those cameras at Truth 18, the cameras covering the door, the cameras covering the steps leading up to it, the parking lot, all of the cameras at Teasers, the first club that they went to that covers the door and that parking lot. And it shows that Isaiah Chance, Sean Gathright, Rashad Murphy.
Half of you are not subscribed. Please hit subscribe. I appreciate the support. Back to video.
And Davion Murphy and Alicia Andrews were on a coordinated mission. You don't have to guess what they were doing because you can see it for yourselves. Those cameras don't lie. This is at Teasers. Every time where the victim was supposed to be, he was supposed to be at Teasers, the silver Chevy Cruze appears first. This is a coordinated attack. The silver Chevy Cruze is the surveillance team. They are the eyes of this mission. Their job is to track and locate Charles Jones. And Isaiah Chance is using his girlfriend, Alicia Andrews, for cover because he's got a COVID mask on in June in Florida so that his face cannot be seen. And he doesn't want to appear out in the open with other men. This plan is planned in every detail. They are using a girl so he can be seen walking with a girl like he's just going out to a club. And the silver Chevy Cruze gets there first. And then after they walk around to the front and get eyes on the victim and see who he's with, see what vehicles that he is in, they communicate to the second vehicle, the black Chevy Impala. The video camera, every place the victim went, shows these two cars. And these are Jacksonville cars. There are two cars that come to Tampa, and they come to Tampa on June 22nd of 2024.
I've said this so many times, but I still can't believe they use cars that are linked to them with license plates, especially Sean's mama's car.
They went to the Airbnb that they had booked specifically to come down here to kill Charles Jones. That is all they did that night, was scout the location, track the victim from club to club, and then to the hotel where they finally kill him. The video shows you exactly what happened in this case. And the video shows that they were prepared. They brought their masks, they brought their firearms, and they thought ahead to have two teams. So the silver Chevy Cruze is the surveillance team. The black Chevy Impala is the hit team. Let's call this what it is. It was a hit on Charles Jones, and the evidence and the video support that was the only goal that they had. At Teasers, they never go in that club. They never approached the bouncer.
So he got to be driving.
They never approached the door. Their only interest is Charles Jones. And when they see him, Alicia Andrews and Isaiah Chance,
he in that car hunting that man down.
They've done their job. And they communicate to the second vehicle, Sean Gathright, who was in the Chevy Impala, but walked enough around the back of that parking lot so they could see where the victim was. See his car, see who he's with. How many people are they going to see with the victim? How many people are they going to have to shoot?
Look at Foolio eyes. He knew something was going to happen. He felt that shit happen to him.
Their path that
his
night.
Eyes are telling all.
They're not there to go
the
to
whole
club.
night. His eyes was
They're
like,
there to see where Charles Jones and his friends are. There is so much digital evidence in this case, and you have heard a lot about the license plate readers in this case that show coordination, tandem movement between the silver Chevy Cruze and the black Chevy Impala. No dispute the silver Chevy Cruze belongs to a relative of Rashad and Davion Murphy. That Rashad Murphy specifically got a vehicle that is not registered to his name before coming to Tampa to commit first-degree premeditated murder. He got that vehicle for a specific purpose. No dispute. The black Chevy Impala is Sean Gathright's mother's vehicle that he personally uses. That we have video footage and license plate reader after license plate reader after license plate reader that show it in his house in Victoria Lane in Jacksonville.
You know somebody lost their life. I had no idea.
Who made you the teller of my truth? We fought the whole club because you're a hoe.
Is I can control.
I'm tired.
That's his car. Those two Jacksonville cars come to Tampa on the very day that they know Charles Jones, Foolio, is scheduled to appear at a club that lists the address. And they scout that address. Their cell phone records.
Sean, you can look innocent all you want. You're not innocent. You on the 18, they got more eyes than everybody on this board right here. Boy, you is a certified killer. You need to be where you at,
and
Sean.
those
You're
are
not
those
fucking
coordinates
innocent.
for all of the cell phones. For Alicia Andrews, for Charles, for Isaiah Chance, for Sean Gathright, for Davion Murphy, and for Rashad Murphy, the phone that stays in Jacksonville.
Literally a screenshot of Isaiah talking to someone on Alicia's phone in the general location of Truth 18.
Records aren't provided by law enforcement. They are kept by the cell phone providers. It's their data from their equipment. Those are accurate information. Sometimes there is not all the data that may be available. Some may be missing, but it is accurate data. They are kept for business purposes, for billing purposes, for customer service to ensure their clients get the best coverage. Those are the records. Those are the data that law enforcement is looking at. 403 to 405 a.m. More video evidence, still shots from the video surveillance of Truth 18, showing them again They don't go to any club. They walk and they check out that sign. That sign happens to be right in front of, across the parking lot, the front door of Truth 18, the very club that Charles Jones and his friends are entering. They are tracking them, tracking Charles Jones and his friends. They are the eyes of the surveillance mission. Here's from her phone, from the digital extraction from the iCloud. That was taken on her phone. It happens to be a view of Truth 18 at the very moment when Charles Jones and his party are getting ready to leave. The evidence clearly shows they are conducting surveillance and they are communicating. Alicia Andrews, the person who is not in the gang, is communicating with Sean Gaffrey's phone, the other person not in a gang.
She got so lucky only getting 10 to 15 years. I also realized if she gets a second trial because of the whole drama with Judge Sisko, because of double jeopardy, she ain't going to get nothing more than manslaughter.
They know law enforcement will be looking at them when this happens. So they are utilizing people that are not known gang members to use their phones and their devices so they do not get caught. And there is communication between her device and Sean Gaffrey's device all through the tracking of the victim, including Alicia Andrews' device sharing her location. 4:14 a.m., that is when the black Chevy Impala again arrives after the silver Chevy Cruze has already put eyes on the victim and his friends. They're not there to have a drink. They're not there to go into a club. They have no interest in any of those things. That's what you do if you're a tourist when you come to Tampa. You check out the parking lot, you check out a sign. That's not what they're doing. They are there at the very moments that the victim is there.
Bro said in the interview, what did you do in Tampa when you were down here? I went to the McDonald's.
Charles Jones went into that hotel and then comes, and you can clearly see he is in the front seat passenger of his car. That when the shooting finally happens, the shooters track the very vehicle that he is in. Because again, Isaiah Chance and Alicia Andrews have done what they are supposed to do. Is now when you can see the black Chevy Impala purposely going the long way around the hotel to park on the side so he does not come in direct eyesight or eye line of Charles Jones and his party.
This would have been a whole lot harder if Foolio wasn't posting on his social media, because obviously they were monitoring his social media, looking at the Airbnb. They knew he was in Tampa, but he had to post that flyer. He shouldn't have been doing no shows like this without like armed security and like a damn car with bulletproof windows
it don't matter if he posts on his flyer or what.
This is Tatum McRae
This
pulling
man
up.
is a
That's what
rapper.
happens next in the
He's
sequence.
supposed to
Again,
about
another
to
person that had
be
been
a
traveling with
rapper.
Charles Jones
He
all
an
night.
entertainer.
Here is the
He
silver
supposed
Chevy
to be
Cruze.
wrong.
It doesn't avoid the
It don't
victim's
matter.
party.
Don't
It
matter
wants
if
to
he
know
posts on
exactly
Wednesday,
where
location.
everyone
He a
is.
rapper.
They need to know where Charles Jones is. He's been wearing a bright red
He's a
cap all
rapper.
night.
He
They
performed.
want to know where the other vehicles are. They are familiar with who Charles Jones is with. Xavier Edwards, Robert Howard. You know they know who Robert Howard is, right? He's the one that went to prison for killing Joe Rod Adams on a manslaughter.
What are they planning? Isaiah and his lawyer planning something.
Who Charles Jones is with that night. Tatum McRae, close friend of Charles Jones, a relative. Xavier Edwards, Gino Norris, all close friends of Charles Jones. His girlfriend, they know all of the vehicles and all of the players that Charles Jones is with. The next sequence scene is the silver Chevy Cruze going around the corner to meet up with the black Chevy Impala. You saw from the Tesla video and the other video of the side angle that the black
saw that
Chevy
silver
Impala
Cruze
isn't
pass?
registering as a guest in
Were they
Holiday
gonna
Inn.
pass back?
They're not registering as a
Them
guest
shots
in
gonna
Home
ring.
Suites. They're backing in
They hit that boy
At
everywhere
angle,
under his feet.
behind the
Everywhere
building.
but under his
so that they cannot
Nobody
be in
wants to
sight
feel like
line
that.
of the victim and his friends.
like that.
Now the silver Chevy Cruze again will
Like
pass the
this.
victim, and this time they
You
will
can see
have
right
direct
here.
eyesight.
You gonna see old boy.
Of where Charles Jones is.
Hand right here.
They are passing right
He
directly
read that bottom.
in
You
front
gonna
of
see
him
old boy hand. Watch.
and his
Right
friends
here.
and know exactly where all of them are parked.
Watch
You
his
can
hand.
see the person with the
Right
firearm is targeting his
creeping
exact location.
Big goofy dude trying to shoot a gun.
Yep.
I still can't believe they said that to his face.
I don't have to prove that a gang war is going on in Jacksonville. I don't have to prove which members killed what other members. None of that is what is at issue in this case. It is relevant to motive. Why this homicide happened. The state does not have to prove motive. That is added evidence to show you why this happened, but it is not required. The only three things that I have to prove, that the state of Florida has to prove to you to prove first degree premeditated murder of Charles Jones is 1, Charles Jones is dead. There is no dispute to that, the first element. 2, the death was caused by the criminal act of the defendant. 3, there was a premeditated killing of Charles Jones. all three of those elements have been proven beyond and to the exclusion of all reasonable doubt. It does not matter that Isaiah Chance is in the scouting vehicle. If he intended for this homicide to occur, and he absolutely did, that is the only reason any of them are in Tampa. And if he did something to aid or assist, then you have to treat him as if he had done everything that the shooters have done. But it is enough that they intended for him to die and that they did something to assist. They all did more than just shoot those firearms. You know they did, based on the digital evidence. They tracked him, they followed him, and they hunted him. The digital evidence in this case makes no mistake that on their free time, when they weren't scouting teasers, they were online trying to locate him because the victim was posting online, saying that he's at an Airbnb. You saw all the digital evidence of Sean Gathright. You spent a lot of time looking for where that Airbnb is on his phone.
That screen recording of Sean swiping through Airbnb, looking for the exact Airbnb that Follio was in, and then switching back to Instagram. How do you defend that? I mean, he's literally going back and forth from the Airbnb listings and to the...
Want to extend your buying power? Get the secured self-Visa credit card. Build credit as you use it and make on-time payments. Unlocks
victim's Instagram post of the pool.
Tried to set up a woman that he knows in Orlando to pose and call one of Charles Jones's friends to find his location at the Airbnb. Rashad Murphy also trying to locate where the victim is. They stalked him, they hunted him, they targeted him, and then when they found him, they gunned him down. That is first-degree premeditated murder.
They showed so much evidence that they were booking the Airbnb, coordinating all that days before the murder.
This premeditation clearly had begun in Jacksonville when Sean Gathright and Isaiah Chance are loading up that black Chevy and Follio with heavy bags. Attempted first-degree premeditated murder. This is for counts 3, 4, and 5, and only applied to the shooters. Gino Norris, Xavier Edwards, and Camilla Bentley all survived, but they were purposely shot at. To prove attempted first-degree murder, again, we only have to prove 3 elements beyond and to the exclusion of all reasonable doubt. The defendant intended to commit the crime of first-degree premeditated murder. The defendant committed an overt act toward the commission of first-degree premeditated murder that went beyond mere preparation. And the defendant failed to complete first-degree premeditated murder. Mere preparation consists of devising or arranging the means or measures to commit the crime. An overt act consists of some movement toward committing the crime after the preparation.
Overt act. Remember the overt acts in the YSL trial? Literally anything that could help them commit this murder is an overt act. Like going to buy one of the masks that they use. If they had that evidence, that's an overt act. Let me clarify. They don't have evidence of them buying the mask. I was using that as an example. This frame is crazy. I never realized this frame. Rashad is pointing his Glock switch right at where Foolio is sitting.
Their muzzle flash goes off so many times, it is hard to count in those videos. The impact of those guns are setting off that Tesla multiple times.
There could have been 4 deaths in this. It's shocking that the other 3 survived.
Take a look. Their muzzle flash goes off so many times, it is hard to count in those videos. The impact of those guns are setting off that Tesla multiple times.
There could have been 4 deaths in this. It's shocking that the other 3 survived.
Take a look at where these shots are hitting. Every place that was occupied in Charles Jones's vehicle. Xavier Edwards is the driver. Charles Jones is the front passenger, and Gino Norris is in the back. The driver and the passenger seats have been hit, and they haven't been hit just anywhere. They are hit on the headrest. That is skill accuracy. And if it is a hit team, these are kill shots that you are seeing right there. And there is no doubt that is exactly what they are. They are a hit team put together for the sole purpose of killing Charles Jones.
Look at this car. How did the other 2 people in this car survive? I think the guy sleeping in the back seat, that's what saved him. Obviously, the driver got hit but survived.
Look at the back seat where Gino Norris was laying down.
Okay, he was laying down, yeah.
Look at the back seat where Gino Norris was laying down. They thought he was laying down, or this wouldn't be another attempted murder. They intended to kill Charles Jones and every single person that was in the vehicle with him. That is attempted first-degree murder because they failed to do it. Gino Norris and Xavier Edwards survived. There is no video showing who is inside. There is no video showing their faces when they get out. They have been designated shooter 1, shooter 2, and shooter 3. Talk about principles. This is the instruction that the judge will read to you. If the defendant helped another person or persons commit or attempt to commit a crime, the defendant is a principal and must be treated as if he had done all the things the other person or persons did.
Isaiah Chance is a principal. He didn't pull the trigger, but he helped assist.
It just has to be one of these things. And you know...
Oh, here we go. Just has to be one of these. Assist. I mean, he did all of these, I would imagine.
All of them had multiple roles in this first-degree premeditated murder. So how do we know who these armed, masked gunmen are? The video doesn't lie. There are a total of 5. 2 in the silver Chevy Cruze, and they are also covering their face with COVID masks. And then 3 in the black Chevy Impala. Those videos. The impact of those guns are set. Targeting his exact location.
Big goofy dude.
Direct eyesight of where Charles Jones is. They are passing right directly in front of him and his friends and know exactly where all of them are parked. You can see the person with the firearm is targeting his exact location.
Big goofy dude trying to shoot a gun. I still can't believe they said that to his face.
I don't have to prove that a gang war is going on in Jacksonville. I don't have to prove which members killed what other members. None of that is what is at issue in this case. It is relevant to motive.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Muzzle flash goes off so many times, it is hard to count in those videos. The impact of those guns are setting off that Tesla multiple times.
There could have been 4 deaths in this. It's shocking that the other 3 survived.
Take a look at where these shots are hitting. Every place that was occupied in Charles Jones's vehicle. Xavier Edwards is the driver. Charles Jones is the front passenger, and Gino Norris is in the back. The driver and the passenger seats have been hit, and they haven't been hit just anywhere. They are hit on the headrest. That is skill accuracy. And if it is a hit team, these are kill shots. Right. This is what the evidence shows. These are the facts. These are the facts that Tampa Police Department uncovered. It is a departure time of 15:08 and arrival time 18:32 hours. Travel time 3 hours and 24 minutes on June 23rd of 2024 after they had successfully completed their mission and taken out the head of their rival gang. The only concern that they had was they wanted to eat at one point. Rashad Murphy stayed sleeping, didn't leave. But Isaiah Chance was worried about him speeding, told him not to speed a couple of times. Wonder why he's worried about speeding.
Oh.
Here is that vivid camera.
So the worrying about speeding, is that because they had guns in some of the bags in the car? It's got to be that, right? I mean, here's them unloading bags from the Uber.
Proves that Rashad Murphy, yes, Rashad Murphy happens to be at the very Airbnb that he booked in his name the day before. Whether he booked it or gave his license to Isaiah Chance, it doesn't matter. He assisted. He allowed his license to be used. And he's actually using the Airbnb. He's there. These are the facts and the evidence of this case, and you get to see it all for yourselves because it was all captured on video. The investigation led right to him because the first piece of information that the detectives were able to crack in this case are those vehicles. They don't know the 3 gunmen yet. They don't know the 2 people who are tracking and are in the surveillance team, but they know the silver Chevy Cruze belongs to Jasmine Glennon, who knows Rashad and Davion Murphy. And they know the black Chevy Impala that belongs to Donnelly Lyle, Sean Gathwright's mother. They don't know where those vehicles are because they fled Tampa the moment that they were done killing Charles Jones and got back to that Airbnb and celebrated. And when he is caught in Georgia, because there were bolos put out, felony bolos put out for both of those vehicles, the law enforcement authorities in Georgia located that vehicle. And you heard from those Georgia police officers that he immediately fled, because he is in one of the suspect vehicles that was used to kill Charles Jones. And so is Davion Murphy's phone at 1:40 a.m. after they had arrived to that Airbnb. Silver Chevy Cruze, again, the video doesn't lie, the cameras don't lie, and this McDonald's has a camera at every angle on the exterior of that McDonald's as well as on the window of the drive-thru, where now we can all see for ourselves Davion Murphy. Again, Alicia Andrews' iCloud. And I want to mention this. These are extractions from their phones from Apple, because we never get the device of Alicia Andrews. We never get the device of Sean Gathwright. We never get the device of Isaiah Chance, because they have gotten rid of them.
That's a red flag to me. I mean, Yes, people get new phones all the time, but all three of those people just so happen to get new phones right after this. I don't know, man.
You've heard testimony that they had new phones, that Detective Ramos had to go to Apple to get what were considered backups. Because if you have an iPhone, regardless of whether or not you get rid of and destroy your device, if you back it up, Apple will have it. So the data from the phones that we get in this case aren't from their phones. And again, they have gotten rid of phones for a reason. You saw Sean Gathright get pulled over in Jacksonville after this crime. He had a new phone. And also a piece of evidence was a sheet with all the phones that he wanted to program his new phone with. And 2 phone numbers on that sheet were Charles Jones, wasn't written Charles Jones. Next to Charles Jones's phone number was G. His nickname is Guttaman, Guttaze. He knows him as G.
All right, while editing this video, I just realized the prosecutor keeps messing up calling Isaiah Chance Charles Jones, Follio's name. And the ginger prosecutor behind her realizes and is like, what? Like it happens like once or twice, but yeah.
And Rashad Murphy is also on that note because he wants to make sure that he still knows Rashad Murphy's number. But Rashad Murphy, that shared phone number that he and Charmaine Steiger have, he gets rid of his phone. He thinks he's deleted the data. And now he's got to reprogram his phone with all the important numbers that he'd written down so that he could reprogram his phone. So ask yourselves why, like any normal person that has an iPhone, that gets a new iPhone, just relies on the backup. Because if you want to know all of the phone numbers that you have saved over the years, nobody remembers numbers now because it's just a click of a button, a click of a profile pic. You just go to an Apple store, Verizon, or whoever your carrier is, and they do what? They back up the phone and all of your contacts, all of your data magically appear. Unless you do not want somebody to see what you have been doing on your phone.
Oh, man.
And again, we see her leaving, going to the Uber. And again, her phone is showing she's exactly in the vicinity of the Airbnb.
They were using her phone.
And the Uber driver, the tracking of the phone again continues throughout the state of Florida as she's going home. And again, her very location is supported by the license plate reader in Bradford County, showing she is in that vicinity when she is driving by in the Uber, driving to Sean Gathwright's house. Let's look at Isaiah Chance's cell phone location. This is before the murder. This is when he is at Sean Gathwright's house. And make no mistake, they are good friends. We have multiple hits of that BMW, Isaiah Chance's BMW at Sean Gathwright's house. But again, based on what you actually can see the video cameras from Sean Gathwright's house, you see Isaiah Chance, he knows the code. He just casually goes in. You see a family dog that does not bark at him. You see that he freely enters this location. They are good friends. He has entrusted a good friend to conspire with to commit first-degree premeditated murder. His cell phone, there is not as much activity during the course of the homicide because they really are relying primarily on his girlfriend's phone. But there are a couple of times that his phone is providing location data at the same time that Alicia Andrews' phone is providing location data. And at 2:30 a.m., it is showing him in the location of teasers when the silver Chevy Cruze is there, when he can be seen on video walking with his girlfriend in that parking lot.
I know this phone data isn't exact approximate locations. It's just a general area, but it's still damning evidence, in my opinion. It is circumstantial. It just adds to the pile of evidence.
In 4K, but I'm sorry.
Welcome to the new generation of creation.
This is again the silver Chevy Cruze, his phone 441. We know that this is. I know there's been a lot of talk about there's a rag with DNA, law enforcement can get it. What we are talking about is wiping down fingerprints. There is no need for law enforcement to do fingerprints in this case because he has wiped down the very areas that his other co-conspirators, his other principals to murder who were in that car, he's wiped them away. He's destroyed it. He's removed that evidence. That is the basis of the tampering with evidence that is count 6. Lots of activity before the homicide. Lots of activity after the homicide. No data during the homicide.
Like the Brian Koberger case, remember? In that case, when he killed those 4 college students, he powered down his phone. Powering it down is a red flag if you never do that. Because, like, wait, why do you do it only during this time?
So again, a known gang member who's concerned about phone being tracked, parts or ammunition that are suitable for use in the very types of weapons that were used to kill Charles Jones. He is highly skillful and trained, but also connect him and is relevant that he has the exact type of parts suitable for use in AR rifles. He is the exact type of math tech ammunition for the handgun. The only shell casings that were left in Tampa were Max Tech. And he just happens, again, coincidentally, to have that very brand in the vehicle that he is driving after he switched out the murder vehicle.
Why did he keep all this?
But more importantly, and you've heard a lot of testimony from Amara Drew, you've heard a lot of cross-examinations about the shell casings that are in this box from his vehicle. Amara Drew was able to get the spent shell casings from the attempted murder of Charles Jones from October 7th of 2023. And you have heard a lot of questions, cross-examination. There has been nobody arrested for that attempted murder. They did not know who did it. But in the investigation of this case, of this homicide that led to the arrest of Sean Gathright and the stop of his vehicle, they now can connect him and his co-appearance to the ones that were used in this crime. Grass catchers, like the ones that were used to commit the homicide of Charles Jones. They are arguing on social media that Charles Jones may have talked about or accused him of being gay. And you've heard that Isaiah Chance specifically talks to the victim and asks him about what? How's your foot, cuz? Again, another tie to the fact that they tried to kill Charles Jones by shooting him earlier in October of 2023. Also on Rashad Murphy, who's at war with Charles Jones, he coincidentally follows and looks at his very rival's Instagram. She specifically is looking for B&B in Tampa. Falls through. So let's go back to Rashad Murphy's cell phone extraction. This is a photograph of a picture that is on his phone wearing the same outfit, the same black boots that he's shown in that Walmart video. And you can see this black mesh bag. You can also see the handle of a firearm.
On one of their phones, a picture of burner phones that they're trying to get to someone in jail, I think his brother or whatever, like later on. And then also the same boots a shooter is wearing. I mean, how stupid can you be?
22nd, the day before coming to Tampa, he's wearing all black. He's got a black ski cap on. Is with Charles Jones. They are
Airbnb.
That's his words on his Instagram messaging for Charles Jones. So now we have Rashad Murphy doing it. We have Sean Gathright doing it. And now we have Isaiah Chance. He's looking up Mizzle. The person he knows based on Charles Jones' Instagram story is with Charles Jones. They all three are hunting him. They want to know where he is at the Airbnb. They tracked him, they followed him, they hunted him, and they found him, and then they gunned him down. That was the only purpose for their trip. That was their mission, and they succeeded at it because of how they planned to commit it. With somebody they know that Charles Jones is with, pretending like she wants to get with them so that she can get the address of the Airbnb. I don't know who Fat Boy is. It's irrelevant. What is very relevant, which is evidence of motive, which is evidence of hunting for Charles Jones, is the rest of this message. Hey, sis, I need you to text Fat Boy and tell him you're trying to pull up on him and trying to see him tonight. They want to know why. He's in Tampa right now, but make it seem like you don't know he's there. He had a B&B with 6. He like, I want to pull up on him. I'm drunk and I'm trying to F you. That is what he is telling them to do. The purpose of this messaging to these girls are to use them to get intel as to where Charles Jones is. No, they're trying to say, where are you? You want to come hang out with us? He's like, no, I'm in Tampa. I'm trying to see where his B&B is. He's trying to see where 6's B&B is. Who B&B? 6. I don't care who Fat Boy is. It couldn't be any clearer. This isn't coded language. It is very clear what Sean Gaathright's purpose is. He wants to find 6. These girls actually do it. They report that he's at Beezer's. They get it a little right. He's going to Teasers, not Beezer's. That they planned it, that's the only reason that they were here, and that is what they spent the entirety of their night doing on June 22nd going into June 23rd of 2024. And that they actually found him and did what they intended to do. They killed him. They also knew who was with him, how many cars were in his party, and who, all taking credit for killing 6 Block. That was the biggest takedown 1200 and ATK could have done. And there's a rap video saying, game over, you don't want a war. There is a gang war. That is the motive in this case. And the mountain of evidence that you have in front of you shows that each and every one of those defendants is guilty of everything that they are charged with.
Laid out the entire case. I might have to split this into 2 videos. I think she did pretty good. I mean, the evidence is very overwhelming in this case. Hit subscribe. Thanks for support. Peace out, boys.
One of the things students love about Culinary School Online with the Scopier is the toolkit. Our students can receive a starter kit of professional tools, including knives, a chef coat, and other basics to help them complete their assignments. When it comes to making Culinary School available online, a Scopier has thought of everything.
Full name for the record.
Sergeant Anthony Portman,
How are you employed?
Tampa Police Department.
How long have you been with the Tampa